Hello and welcome everyone, wishing you all a blessed Eid al-Adha. But as we celebrate Eid al-Adha, we cannot forget that we have brothers and sisters suffering and being exterminated in the land of Palestine. The United States insisted on bringing in Eid al-Adha this year with sorrow and grief. At a pivotal moment in history, the will of the world united. 14 out of 15 countries in the UN Security Council were aligned. Had the United States voted in favor or even abstained, a binding resolution could have been passed, obliging the entity to stop the genocide. However, as always, the United States insisted on bringing grief upon more than 2 billion Muslims because of what's happening in Palestine. And it's not just Muslims. Today, the whole world is standing in unprecedented solidarity with what's happening in Palestine. Do you remember what they did when Saddam Hussein was executed on the night of Eid al-Adha? As if we were sacrificial offerings ourselves. They insisted on making us grieve. And as you saw and we've spoken about before, there wasn't even a chance or moment of pause. At the very least, you think they'd calm down. After all, you just came back from the region, relaxed and comfortable as we said. We even gave you the kiss of life diplomatically, and you're sitting on every platform bragging, I came back with $5.1 trillion. He jumps from one topic to another just to talk about that number, $5.1 trillion. That was all he could say. But where is the shame? No, he insists on treating us like insects. Everything I've taken from you, everything I do, you'll pay for it whether you like it or not. That's why, when people like this and countries like this are afflicted with misery, I must admit, I feel joy. Not because I love misery or want to hurt others, but because these are enemies. The West, especially the United States, is our #1 enemy, and this entity is simply their tool. This entity is their tool to maintain American dominance over the world. Through this entity, the U.S. managed to bring the region back to its knees after it had started drifting away, gradually moving toward the east. With this tool and others, the U.S. managed to redominate the region so it could continue its existence as a superpower. But sometimes, bad things come with hidden blessings. God willed that this Eid would not end without seeing grief fall upon them. At least it shut him up a bit from repeating that same old line, $5.1 trillion. And who did it hit? It hit their closest allies. The same man they were singing praises for, now they're attacking each other. What I see happening between Trump and Elon Musk reminds me of those neighborhood women sitting and screaming at each other in alleyways. You know what I mean? That traditional, petty, tribal mindset. That's why, as I mentioned before, this type of leadership doesn't suit a modern, advanced, democratic nation, not even remotely. And everything we've seen in recent years proves that. I won't repeat all their actions, but just look at it. This whole feud looks like a gossip session between Muhammad and Ahmed, each sitting on her stoop, throwing shade at the other. Elon Musk sitting on his Twitter stoop and Trump on his Truth Social stoop. One posts something, the other claps back. One says, remember what you did, and the other replies, no, you remember. But it didn't stop there. Musk said, I've got you by your weak spot. And remember this post, and remember these words. Here comes the big bombshell. What happened? Glory be to God. Tyrants never have true friends. A tyrant, an arrogant, inhumane person, this kind of person values nothing but their own self-interest. They don't care about ethics or values or even humanity. Even if they cry crocodile tears, at the end of the day, their only love is for themselves. That's the model we're seeing now. Elon Musk literally said, even on his platform, hey, I'm the one who made you win the election. If it weren't for me and the hundreds of millions of dollars I spent and the crypto kids I mobilized for you and all the chaos I stirred up, we were the ones who secured your victory. We're the ones who turned the tide of the election. Then Trump fires back from his stoop. Oh, he's mad? I'll tell you where the problem started. But God Almighty says, O Allah, Strike the oppressors with the oppressors. O Allah, show us your miracles in them during these blessed days. Trump responds again. He's upset because the new law I introduced would deprive his companies of major benefits. His companies were going to profit about $22 billion from deals with government agencies. They were going to provide raw materials and support. And not just that, his Tesla company, with all the electric cars, it was essentially a failed project. I'm the one who saved it. Remember when he was standing at the White House showcasing it like a car auction? He turned the White House into a car dealership just to save Elon Musk. Because at one point, he suffered massive losses because of the rise of BYD, the Chinese company, and other Chinese tech firms. The point here is that one person speaks, the other responds. It's a full-on blaze. Things escalated to the point where Elon Musk said, "Look, America needs a new spirit. America needs a new party." He even held a vote on his platform, yes or no to founding a new party that reflects the dreams of 80% of the American people. Over 1 million users voted on his website, supporting the creation of a new political party. This essentially means there's now another voice, a competitor to Trump in the upcoming period. But that's not all. Musk even threatened Trump, saying, "Look, I've got the dirt, old and new. I know your secrets. I have the password. I know your scandals, especially the sexual ones." He referred to a businessman, someone who died in prison under mysterious circumstances. No one knows why he died or the cause of death. Musk emphasized that this man, his name was something like Elson or Easton, was involved in major sex scandals. And who was a partner in those scandals? Trump. Trump's history, of course, is impeccable, ironically speaking. He talks about religion, trying to manipulate people's emotions, just like others who play the religion card to fool the public, when in reality, his track record speaks for itself. So the truth is, Musk has got him by his weak spot. How did it all start? Musk said that, unfortunately, he hadn't reviewed the new budget law, but from what he gathered, it would lead to even more borrowing. Because they want to cut taxes, cut this and that, but where's the money going to come from? More borrowing means more national debt. And here, Elon Musk presents a real economic argument. He said that America now pays $1 trillion annually in interest on its national debt. The U.S. national debt is nearing $37 trillion, and the interest alone is now $1 trillion per year. And within a short time, it will be $1 trillion every 3 months. And soon after that, maybe within 3 to 4 years, it could be $1 trillion every month, maybe even worse. This means future generations will be born into debt. America is heading into a disaster. Even Warren Buffett, one of the world's richest men, said, "America is approaching a catastrophe." And to be honest, this news makes me very happy. Not because I enjoy seeing others suffer, no. But to those arrogant ones among the Arabs, to those who have lost every trace of Arab pride, this man is practically vomiting on us. Where is your shame? He's speaking openly. If he hasn't literally spat in our faces, that's the only thing he hasn't done yet. But look at the videos. Look how he talks about our rulers. Look how he talks about our wealth. To him, we are nothing more than donkeys carrying books. We don't deserve to carry this wealth. We're just fools in his eyes. In his view, we are nothing but stepping stones beneath his feet. That's why this feeling I have isn't about Trump or Elon Musk or any American. It's about how they treat us. So yes, I feel happy when I hear news like this. Elon Musk said, "Trump's new law makes no sense. It'll only lead to more debt and more borrowing." Trump clapped back and called him crazy. Trump said, "I'm glad I kicked him out of my administration." La ilaha illallah. Yesterday he was your favorite. Now you've turned on him completely. That's how these types are. They have no loyalty. No permanent friends, no permanent enemies, only interests. Trump responded further and said, Musk is only angry because my new law would strip him of benefits his companies were about to enjoy. Nearly $22 billion in government contracts, raw material supplies, and support. He even mocked Tesla, implying it was a failing project. Remember when Musk was at the White House showing off like he was at a car auction? He turned the White House into a car showroom just to save Musk. At one point, Tesla was on the verge of collapse. Now they've turned on each other. And the result? Tesla stock crashed, down by almost 10%. American tech stocks also took a major hit. The US dollar is continuing to fall. I pray to God Almighty to show us His wonders in these people. This whole issue isn't about Trump or Musk for me. It's about what we are witnessing. The entire world moves in one direction and they in another. That's why I said before, this model doesn't fit the world. It doesn't suit the US either. Can anyone seriously argue that this is a logical leadership model for an advanced, civilized country? In fact, it sends a dangerous message to the world toward more tyranny. If the head of the global household is corrupt and abusive, then it's no surprise that the rest of the world follows suit with lies, fraud, and dictatorship. If this is the role model, if this is the example, then what kind of future awaits the world? That's why I have always supported and continue to support the rise of a new global power. There must be another pole in this world. Because this kind of tyrannical model, one that provokes the emotions of Muslims across the globe and sends messages of reassurance to Israel before Eid saying, "Don't worry, we'll veto any resolution in the UN Security Council." Now that they're tearing each other apart, we truly hope that things keep escalating further until, God willing, our dream comes true. That this man becomes the nail in the coffin of U.S. global dominance. Let me be clear. This isn't about an American citizen. Don't twist my words. This is not about the American dream. Every nation has the right to dream. The U.S. has the right to advance, just like any other country. But not at the expense of others. Not by stepping on the skulls of the oppressed. Especially in our dark region, our dark Arab history. One of the reasons for its darkness is that country called the United States of America.